face the right.
So I see the sentiment a lot, and I mean a lot. And I want to start by saying I get it. I do. I grew up evangelical Christian. I taught Sunday school. I was deeply entrenched in organized religion. I am not anti-Christianity. I'm not anti any religion that helps bring a person comfort and facilitates their growth, provided it does not cause harm to others outside the constraints of legitimate justice. Am I being understood? Yeah? Let's continue. Evangelical Christians are not the victims in the fight for religious freedom. They are the aggressors. But they are told, we were told, that persecution against Christians was not only a real possibility, but actively happening. Also, that you were special if you were being persecuted. It makes you chosen or something. Except that persecution against Christians isn't actually happening in the US. A lot of what is being interpreted as religious persecution by evangelicals is more like them wanting to codify parts of their religious beliefs into law to prevent persecution, and any group standing up for actual religious freedom are labeled anti-Christian aggressors. But it goes a step further, with some evangelical groups actively going after religious and spiritual people that evangelicals feel deviate from what religion should look like. And if we look at history, this is nothing new. And currently, they are targeting shops that focus on spirituality. Some of you may remember this news article featured here in the New York Times and written by Christine Hauser about a Hanover, Pennsylvania metaphysical shop that was visited by the local police chief to inform the owner that technically, fortune telling is illegal where they are, and he'd be forced to investigate if anyone files a complaint. When there was a backlash over the incident, the police chief responded by essentially saying, and I paraphrase here, but the full statement is still on their Facebook page if you want to read it in its entirety, that he was just trying to prevent a future complaint. And if the community doesn't stand behind this law, well, then they just need to contact their legislators. A little jarring, yes, but that's pretty mild compared to what some others have experienced. In an incident from 2020 in Greenville, North Carolina, the owner of the metaphysical shop, The Sojourner, reported that someone had pasted this giant sticker on the door. Pause to read it and let it sink in. There is no way this can be interpreted as anything else but threatening. To that community's credit, their mayor did publicly come out against this threat of violence. But he was also talking about an unrelated incident at the same time in which a Confederate colonel's gravestone was defaced with the word racist. I don't really feel like those two things are on the same level, but that's a whole other subject. In 2024, the owner of the metaphysical shop, Crystal Coven Mystic Cottage, received backlash and threats of violence after her store was featured by the Tourism Commission, with many screaming about witchcraft. The owner even received messages like, "We burned witches before and we'll do it again." In a more recent incident from a few weeks ago, a Christian evangelical group local to me showed up at 2 local metaphysical shops. The same group, same day, 2 different stores. They first went to Avalon, and according to an interview that owner Miranda Salas gave to The Wild Hunt, quote, "The group showed up here first, entered the store, and began filming despite being explicitly told not to. Then they went outside and started singing. I'm pretty sure the so-called customer they claimed to have converted was actually part of their group, just an actor participating in their video." Avalon called 911, but by the time the police arrived, the group had set their sights on the next metaphysical shop and independent bookstore, Spiral Circle. A video of this interaction does exist, and you can see it on Misty Miller's profile at love.psychic.circle. In it, a large group of evangelical Christians stand outside the front entrance, singing loudly and refusing to identify what group they are with, and being told multiple times the shop employees were not open to having a conversation with them. And these are just a very brief smattering of cases where evangelicals scream that their religious freedom is being persecuted, but they are very quick to try to remove that same freedom from others. Christianity isn't illegal. It's never going to be. But for those of us following what they would deem to be non-traditional or non-standardized religious practices, the threat of losing our freedom through threats and legislation is very real.